My story begins my freshman year of college. There I was, fresh out of high school, green as ever, with both of my protected parents in tow, driving down a rural road in Kentucky, 2,000 plus miles from my urban home in the Pacific Northwest. Everything was foreign to me. The color of the grass, the rolling hills, the new onset of seasonal allergies that I got, the southern accents, and even the college campus itself. We didn't have enough money to preview the school campus ahead of time, so the day I was moving in with my bags was the first time I had been there. After a tour and a meal and a quick overnight stay, my parents headed back and I got settled. You could see the pride on their faces as they had successfully sent their first college bound child off to school with full confidence that she'd deliver on their very high expectations, bragging that I'd received a full academic scholarship. And suddenly, being the first person in my family to attend a 4 year college out of state, I was alone with no idea how to navigate this road, no money, no driver's license, no friends, and no idea what I was in store for. Yep, as well intentioned as I was and as proud as my parents were, the experience proved to be a bit more than I was ready for. By the end of my freshman year, I was engaged, my poor parents, to be married, and dropping out of school and giving up my full ride to pursue a job even further away from home that, unknown to me, I'd lose just 3 months later. Have you ever gone down a road so fast that one day you look up and don't even realize how you got there? That was definitely me. 5 years later, broken and lost, a single parent of a tiny and cute little baby girl, a failed marriage, and returning to a hometown that was now foreign to me too. Although coming home should have been comforting, it was actually pretty shameful, as those in my small community found it hard to hide their surprise at how things had turned out for me. Talk about humbling. By then, many of the people I had gone to school with were finishing their masters or launching their corporate careers, and I was starting all over again with only a high school diploma to offer and an incredible sense of insecurity around studies. I dreamed of another chance to go back to school, but it had been too long, and I still hadn't paid off the loans from the first year. Eventually, I settled for some classes at a small Bible college in my neighborhood where a Jewish rabbi taught my class. In his class, my love of learning was reborn. Ugh, I felt alive and like I had something to offer for those few hours each week. And for that moment, that was enough. But as my class bittersweetly came to an end, I remember my professor pulling me aside. He said, "Crystal, you know you can do this, right?" I asked him what he meant. He said, "You can go back to school full time and get your degree. You're meant for this. You would be an incredible student." I replied with a list of reasons why that'd be impossible for me. I was a single parent of a 3 year old, had very little money, limited support, and wouldn't be able to keep up with the academic rigor. But he wouldn't hear any of it. He told me about a nearby university, how to transfer credits, get scholarships, but mostly he told me to believe in myself. And I knew if I wanted to give my daughter the future she deserved, I'd have to push past my doubt and consider his words. It was in that season that I discovered the power of my village, my beloved community, and how their belief in me gave me courage to believe in myself. And as I courageously began to share my consideration of going back to school full time, I couldn't believe the support I got. I inquired about an adult degree program, and one of the admissions counselors recognized me, took me under her wing, and guided me through the whole process. My coworkers came up with a weekly rotation where they volunteered to take my daughter on adventures while I was in class or studying, and after 2 years, I was halfway through my program when life hit another curveball, and I had to pause my studies. Things got pretty rough for me for a minute there, and I didn't believe much was possible. I remember in a desperate attempt to save my life, I wrote to the president of the university that the professor had originally recommended for me. I shared with the president my story and dream of returning back to school full time. I had no idea if presidents even got emails from regular people like me, but I had nothing to lose. I was shocked to say the least when the president emailed me back saying that they got my letter, ran it down to admissions personally, talked with the team, and that someone would be reaching out to me within a few weeks. Well, within a few weeks, they offered me a chance to come and live on campus in the fall as a traditional student with my daughter. They provided scholarships, financial aid, and arranged for my daughter and I to stay in a sweet little staff apartment. I wasn't quite sure why all of this was happening, but I was definitely going to take it. But it wasn't just the studies that I was nervous about. It was the students that I was most nervous about. How would class be with 18-year-olds? I was almost 30 by then, and I was sure we'd find nothing in common. Little did I know, they would teach me so much. We learned it together. My peers came to hang out with my daughter and invited her over to play video games or bake cookies. My professors allowed her to attend classes with me I had in the evenings when I couldn't find childcare or afford it. And when I got a position on leadership, she was a part of the team as well. Once again, I felt alive and capable, and my daughter was having the time of her life watching her mom go back to school to finish what she started. In 2012, I finally finished my degree amongst a host of supporters rooting us on. Not only did I receive my degree, but they gave my daughter an honorary certificate for all the hours of class time she accrued. Shortly after I graduated, I became an elementary teacher, and for years to come, my daughter watched my career with pride as I quickly became beloved to her friends and classmates. I do certainly believe in second chances, and thirds, and fourths, and fifths, and I believe in the beautiful communities that help us to take those courageous steps, reminding us of who we are along the way.